Welcome to Teacher Tip Tuesday. And as I said last time, this is my goal for the year, is every Tuesday to post a video about tips that I've learned over the last 21 years of teaching. Certainly don't know everything because every teacher is always learning, but I just wanted to share something that's really important to me. Today's teacher tip is about decorating the classroom. Now, I know elementary teachers do this all the time, and I know everyone has their own way of doing things, but I think it's really important that our classroom should be an argument for what is important to us. And so in my classroom, I want there to be an argument for my students to know that they really matter to me, that collaboration is important, and that the culture is one where they can feel at home. I really want it to be a place where they understand that taking risks is accepted, and I want them to feel like conversation is really important. So some of the choices that I've made in my own classroom, I'm going to go over really briefly. And if you'd love some of these ideas in more detail, please comment or send me a message. I would love to give you some more details. But one of the choices was actually gifted to me from another teacher when she left the profession. She gave me mailboxes. And so even for my high school students, I have a mailbox for every student. And the reason I do that is I want them to know that I prioritize their time. So I like my time to be spent from bell to bell, working on what's really important and working on discussion and curriculum. And so it helps me not waste time. Another argument I have in my room is that I want them to be in a culture where students are really important to me. So I have several walls that I've filled with student pictures, graduation announcements, and things that students have given me. And the reason that I keep those things and I display them is I want them to know that students are important to me and I want to remember them in years to come. Another choice that I make is tables. I started doing that long ago when I taught in Oklahoma. I scrambled and got some just mismatched tables and put them together because I wanted to have a culture of conversation. I know that's something that's a lot more common now in the high school classroom is tables, but I make sure that I do a lot with movement. We move every 15 minutes in my classroom, and that's a teacher tip I'll talk about at another time. But because we move a lot, I have them at tables where they can have conversation and get to know other students, because one of my goals is that I want all the students in the classroom to know one another by name, as well as knowing something about each student in the room. And so that happens really well at tables. Another thing I have chosen to display in my room are pennants and posters and words. Lots of quotes that are important to me that help students to know my own philosophy for them as far as what I want them to see as important in my own life and what I'm going to exhibit in my own classroom. And so that's important to me as well. Another thing I do, but it's more specifically with seniors because they're older, is I provide a coffee station. And so I have 4 coffee makers in my room. And what we do is we ask each student to donate at least one thing: a creamer, a sugar, a coffee, a tea, a hot chocolate. And we have a hot water heater. We have Keurigs that are donated by students, and we have coffee makers. And students are allowed to make coffee, tea, or hot chocolate as long as it's not distracting to the class environment. And it's really a way for them just to feel at home, but also to feel like adults. Because my students, my seniors, are nearing 18, feeling like they're really valued as adults and they can have the responsibility of using a coffee maker is really important to them. And so that's something in my culture of my classroom that I want them to be able to utilize. It's really cool how many parents have donated just multiple items so that their students can participate in the coffee bar. The kids really love and enjoy that. I think the most important thing to remember is your classroom in and of itself is an argument. Now I say argument, really? Yeah. So you are proving something with the way that you decorate your room. And I know some of you maybe aren't decorators, but most of what I've done, I've been able to do pretty cheaply. I buy lots of wrapping paper. I use the school's rolls of paper. I cut all the words out with a Cricut. Over the years, of course, 21 years, I've developed a lot of the decorations that I have in my classroom. But I think it's really important to create an environment where kids feel like they are welcome, they're at home, and whatever it is, the culture you want to have in your classroom should be apparent when they walk in the room. And so I hope this Teacher Tip Tuesday has been helpful to you. If you have ideas for me or if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. And I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get these tips every Tuesday. So have the best day ever and choose joy.